Okay. So let's start off with. Ready? So let's start off with your Luxon in 8 cards. So you say that imposing our morality on others inevitably actually destroys these societies.
State ethics is bad.
Isn't that exactly what we're trying to do in Afghanistan?
No.
Can you explain to me how we're not trying to impose Western morality upon the people of Afghanistan?
Because we're not trying to colonize Afghanistan. We're trying to secure it as a region.
Okay, can you explain to me exactly the applicability of this card to my 1AC?
Well, we're talking about on the social sector because you have these Ali and Bashar cards, and it's saying that we have one of our main goals in Fighter app is to help these women, but this card is saying, and what my other cards I didn't get to, we're talking about how when you impose the state ethics on what we have to do to help these women is bad because it doesn't make us feel invested anymore.
Okay, so we should ignore the plight of these women that we're literally causing the rape and murder of because...
Well, we use this same kind of rhetoric when we invaded Afghanistan because these women were being murdered and raped also then.
But isn't that exactly the point of our Ali and Bashara cards? That the rhetoric that we use, that we're helping.
And so when you're using that, now you're just using that rhetoric again to try to withdraw.
But isn't that
it's just
positive?
cyclical.
Okay. So, okay, let's talk about your counter plan. First, can I ask, is it conditional?
Yes.
Okay, so it's conditional. And what exactly, how is it going to solve for
Because it leads to development across the region, especially in the Kashmir Divide, where it is the conflict between India and Pakistan is most hostile. So when we develop this region, then they're not going to have a need to actually.
But okay, is this going to solve the fact that if there's a coup of the Pakistani government by terrorists, will India care if there's development in the region?
What we're saying is that when you have this economic development, then you're not going to have this coup happen.
Why? If
because
terrorists if terrorists take over Pakistan and have nuclear weapons, is India going to care if we're having infrastructure development?
What your cards are talking about, the land cards is talking about when the economy collapses, this is what's going to trigger this coup to happen and all these different things.
But isn't that predicated on the fact that they get the nuclear weapons? Isn't that going to overwhelm any infrastructure
because what a land is talking about is when you have these economic problems that are happening, that this causes a coup to happen, and this is a catalyst. So when we solve specifically in the most hostile region for these economic problems, we're going to prevent this coup from ever happening.
Okay, so is every threat that? Okay, that's good. Thanks.
Yes, I